child sexual abuse is, in a way, what it says it is. It is any act of sexual stimulation that is performed by an adult or more powerful person on a child. And this can take place in many settings. It can take place in the home, in which case, in our context, it's usually referred to as an incest if the perpetrator is a family member, but it can take place in schools, in public places, etc. Well, the home is a vulnerable space, and this came out of research that we did, and that is so contradictory in a way, because your home is supposed to be a safe space. That's where you're supposed to go for refuge. But unfortunately, for many, it is not a safe space. And I think this came out very well during the recent lockdowns, when both for adult women, where we saw increases in the numbers of domestic violence, and this was globally, here in Trinidad and Tobago, we also noticed increased reports of child sexual abuse coming out. Detection is a very important issue, because sometimes if the relationship between the child and adults, if there are no safe persons the child feels to whom they could communicate, then you have a problem, because the child may then act out. So adults need to be aware when children are behaving differently. For example, teachers in schools should notice if children are acting out in certain ways, or changes in their behavior, changes in their appearance, etc., more sulkiness, etc. So as adults, we have to be very sensitive to the messages that children are trying to give to us, and young people as well are trying to give to us, even when they don't speak out directly. And what we found from the research is that young people, especially young girls, are asked to sacrifice their own situation for the good of the family, and that is problematic. So I think detecting is one issue. But I think what we're always more concerned about is prevention. And I think for prevention, there are a number of things we can do. We have general public awareness. We can have age-appropriate sexuality education, notions of masculinity and femininity that challenge stereotypical behaviors, especially behaviors around sexuality, and the fear, homophobia, or the fear as being exposed as homosexual, which unfortunately is very powerful in our society. But I also think that parents need to be empowered with information, so they can deal with it in the way that it should be if and when it presents itself. When a child comes to you to disclose about an incident of sexual abuse, I think the first thing you have to do is to listen. Sometimes it's difficult. It could be a relative, a spouse, a friend, a family member. But you, first of all, have to listen and to gain that child's trust. And then when you have listened, basically you have to say to the child, I'm going to help you.